They tested a single mom and an autistic man at the office. What started as brutal sabotage, whispered mockery, and hidden cameras capturing every painful moment turned into his quiet courage, moving everyone to tears. But the shocking footage reveal at the end not only exposed the real villains, it changed the entire company forever, fired the bullies, and promoted the underdogs. You won't believe who broke first or how one simple act of kindness rewrote all the rules. Stay until the very last second, because this hits different, and you'll see yourself in it. It was still dark when Anna pulled into the parking lot, the hum of her old car fading as the first light of dawn brushed the sky over Clearfield, Pennsylvania. She sat there for a moment, hands gripping the steering wheel, her mind already running through the day ahead while thoughts of her son's fever from last night lingered like a shadow. The office loomed before her like a quiet test she hadn't signed up for, its glass doors reflecting her weary face. Inside those walls, she wasn't a mother fighting to stay afloat with mounting medical bills. She was just the woman who's always late. The thought stung more than she wanted to admit, a sharp reminder of judgment she couldn't escape. Her eyes caught her reflection in the rearview mirror. Tired eyes, shadowed by sleepless nights, hair pulled back too quickly into a messy bun, the trace of a smile forced into place for survival. She adjusted her blazer, the one she'd bought second-hand last year at a thrift store in town, smoothing wrinkles from yesterday's rush, and whispered under her breath, "You can do this, Anna," her voice barely audible over the distant highway hum. She always said that before walking in, even when it felt like a lie woven from desperation. The phrase was her armor, thin, cracked from endless worries, but still hers against the world's indifference. Today it felt heavier than ever. The cold morning air hit her face as she stepped out, coffee in one hand from the drive-thru, folder tucked under her arm like a shield. The lobby smelled faintly of disinfectant mixed with burned toast wafting from the employee kitchen nearby, a familiar assault on her senses. She took a slow breath, a rhythm she'd learned from her son's therapist to steady his nerves during meltdowns. And now, her own fraying edges. One breath in, hold, one out, releasing the knot in her chest. She pressed the elevator button with a trembling finger and tried not to think about the bills waiting on her kitchen counter back home, or the school call she dreaded receiving mid-shift. When the doors opened on the third floor, she saw him, sitting quietly at his desk already, focused on some invisible pattern only he could see in the glow of his monitor. His name was Ethan, the quiet one everyone whispered about but rarely spoke to directly. He rarely spoke at all. In fact, his world seemingly contained in lines of code and neatly stacked files. People said he was too slow for corporate life, but somehow things worked smoother when he was around. Printers humming right, errors vanishing overnight. Anna had always admired that about him, though she never said it aloud, fearing it might shatter the fragile office peace. Today, his stillness drew her in more than usual. The rest of the team arrived in bursts of noise that filled the open-plan space, sharp laughter echoing off beige walls, heavy perfume clouds lingering, loud greetings meant more for display than genuine warmth. Someone commented, half joking with a smirk, that Anna had finally beaten traffic this time, their tone dripping with false cheer. She smiled as if the words didn't burrow under her skin like thorns, masking the heat rising in her cheeks. The brain, she once read in a late-night article while rocking her sick child, reacts to exclusion like physical pain. The same neural pathways lighting up, the same sting beneath the ribs that no medicine could numb. Today the sting felt sharper, amplified by the experiment hanging in the air. At 9 o'clock sharp, the manager gathered everyone in the conference room, his polished shoes clicking authoritatively on the tile floor. His tone was too cheerful, rehearsed like a sales pitch, eyes scanning the group with calculated interest. "This week," he announced with a grin that didn't reach his eyes, "we're going to try something new, a small experiment to build real team spirit." No one knew what that meant exactly, but the phrase experiment made the room buzz with a mix of curiosity, unease, and sidelong glances. Anna noticed how Ethan's fingers began to twist the edge of his sleeve rhythmically, his comfort habit kicking in when he felt cornered by unpredictability. She shifted in her seat, mirroring his tension unconsciously. The manager continued, describing vague team challenges designed to measure real collaboration under pressure, his voice smooth but laced with something sharper. Anna's chest tightened like a vice, her intuition screaming that this wasn't about growth. It was a trap hidden behind motivational jargon. She could sense the undercurrent, that kind of leadership that looked friendly on the surface but thrived on quiet cruelty, pitting people against each other for sport. She knew the type all too well from past jobs lost to office politics, the kind that tested people not to make them better, but to watch them crack under invisible weight. Her mind flashed to her son waiting at home, dependent on her holding this together. Throughout the morning, whispers began weaving through the cubicles like spider silk, small, cutting remarks disguised as harmless jokes that sliced deeper with each pass. Someone mocked Ethan's monotone voice after he answered a question in the break room, imitating it with exaggerated flatness. Another rolled her eyes dramatically when Anna excused herself briefly to check a text from her son's school about his persistent cough. Each comment was light as air on its own, yet together they buried her spirit grain by grain, eroding the walls she'd built so carefully. She smiled, nodded politely, pretended not to care even as her throat tightened with unshed tears. Pretending was its own kind of survival, honed from years of single motherhood. As the day wore on under relentless fluorescent glare, Ethan seemed to move slower than usual, his usually steady focus slipping like fog over a lake. He dropped a folder once during a file handoff, papers scattering like brittle leaves across the worn carpet. Anna bent down instinctively to help gather them, her knees protesting the quick motion, but one of the others sighed audibly from their desk, muttering about babysitting adults around here. She said nothing aloud, biting her tongue until it ached. But deep down, something in her began to burn, a silent ember of anger, shame for her own vulnerabilities, and unexpected empathy mixed into one heavy breath. It mirrored the fire she'd felt defending her son at parent-teacher meetings. At lunch hour, she sat alone by the window overlooking the gray parking lot, stirring cold soup in a plastic container with a bent spoon, half watching raindrops trace paths down the glass. Outside, the sky had turned heavier, pressing low against the building like her mounting worries. She thought about calling home to hear her son's small voice asking for water, reminding herself why she endured the daily grind without complaint. But she didn't pick up the phone, couldn't risk the eyes that might notice her softening, the whispers that would twist concern into weakness. The soup grew colder, mirroring the isolation settling in her bones. Across the room at a corner table, Ethan sat by himself too, unpacking the same sandwich he always did. White bread, turkey slices thin and even, no crust to disrupt texture, mustard applied in precise lines. Routine comfort in an unpredictable world, predictable and safe amid the chaos of clinking forks and overlapping chatter. Yet his eyes flicked toward her direction for just a second, sharp and observant, as if sensing the same quiet loneliness threading through the air between them. Two people, sitting 15 feet apart in a crowded space, both pretending they were fine while invisible weights pressed down. No words exchanged, but a silent understanding flickered briefly. When the afternoon meeting reconvened in the stuffy boardroom, the real test started to show cracks in the facade, tasks assigned with deliberate pairings. The manager orchestrated it smoothly, placing Anna with two employees known for their arrogance and cutting humor, their desks littered with energy drink cans, and Ethan in a group where joking at someone's expense was daily tradition, laughter masking sharper barbs. "Let's see how you all handle pressure," he said, smiling thinly as he handed out folders stamped with vague deadlines. Anna felt her pulse quicken in her ears, a drumbeat of warning. Her mind raced, not with outright fear, but with the sharp instinct of someone who's had to read people like survival maps to protect her child. She saw the setup immediately through the haze of printed instructions, the deliberate friction designed to spark conflict. The goal wasn't genuine teamwork or productivity metrics. It was observation, cold and clinical. Someone watching from the shadows, evaluating how they'd react under manufactured strain. She wondered silently. What exactly were they testing beneath the corporate gloss? Raw competence in numbers and reports? Or something deeper, like compassion in the face of cruelty? Her gaze drifted to Ethan, catching his subtle sleeve twist again. The hours stretched thin as rubber bands pulled taut, her group ignoring her suggestions outright, overruling every idea with careless laughter that echoed off the whiteboards. Each time she spoke up about process improvements, they thanked her politely with patronizing nods and moved on swiftly, as if her words evaporated mid-air. Her chest ached with the familiar dismissal, but she kept her face calm, soft features composed in practiced control. Deep inside, she felt something raw stirring. That quiet ache of being useful only when convenient, invisible when it mattered most. A pain echoing her life's quiet battles. When 5 o'clock finally ticked over on the wall clock, Ethan was still at his desk in the dimming light, typing quietly with mechanical precision, his eyes unfocused yet intensely locked on the screen. The room emptied around them in waves of chatter and rustling coats, leaving echoes in the vacated space. Anna watched him for a moment from her station, noticing the tiny tremor in his hand as he saved a file, the way his jaw tightened subtly, as if holding back words he didn't know how to form aloud. She thought about speaking to him, crossing the aisle with an offer of coffee, but hesitated, second-guessing in the heavy silence. Sometimes, silence felt safer than risking rejection. Yet something in his unwavering stillness carried a strange, unspoken power, like a calm before a storm no one else could sense brewing. As Anna locked her computer screen and turned off her desk lamp with a soft click, she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right in Clearfield's corporate heart, that this experiment had only just begun its slow unraveling, and that, somehow, she and Ethan were already caught at its shadowy center, threads pulling tighter with every passing hour. Drop it in the comments below. What do you think this manager's real test is for? Performance or humanity? Ethan arrived before the first rays of sunlight touched the office windows in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, his footsteps echoing softly in the empty hallway like a ritual he couldn't break. He arranged his desk with the precision of someone building a fortress against chaos. Pens aligned perfectly, keyboard centered, a single family photo tucked in the corner showing a younger him with parents long gone. No one else was there yet, which suited him fine. Mornings were his sanctuary, a predictable world where numbers and code made sense when people didn't. He sat down, fingers hovering over the keys, already lost in the rhythm of his work, unaware that eyes would soon judge what they couldn't understand. But today, something felt off, a subtle shift in the air, like static before a storm. His routine was unbreakable. Black coffee from the machine, exactly 3 sips before starting emails, then deep into spreadsheets where patterns emerged like hidden constellations. Colleagues called him the robot behind his back, mimicking his even tone or the way he avoided eye contact during small talk. But Ethan didn't mind the label. Machines didn't feel rejection. Deep inside, though, memories surfaced unbidden. Schoolyard taunts, jobs lost to poor team fit, the ache of wanting connection but fearing the overload it brought. He twisted the edge of his sleeve, a small anchor in the rising tide of office noise approaching. What no one saw was how those patterns he chased weren't just work. They were his way of holding the world together. Anna passed his desk on her way to hers, offering a quiet "good morning" that he returned with a nod, his eyes flicking up just long enough to register her tired smile. She wondered about him sometimes, this man who fixed printers without fanfare or complained about the AC's hum disrupting his focus. Rumors swirled. Some said autism, others just weird. But Anna saw kindness in his silence, a mirror to her own guarded heart protecting a son who needed her whole. Ethan noticed her pause, the way her shoulders carried invisible weight. But words failed him. Instead, he pushed a spare coffee stirrer her way, a silent gesture no one else would notice. In that moment, their worlds brushed without merging, hinting at alliances yet to form. The team trickled in, voices rising like a wave crashing over his calm, laughter too loud, perfumes clashing, chairs scraping unpredictably. Mark from sales clapped Ethan on the back too hard, joking about waking the robot up, his grin wide but eyes sharp with amusement at Ethan's stiff recoil. Ethan forced a half smile, muscles tensing as sensory input piled on, fluorescent buzz, chatter overlapping, the faint whiff of cologne turning his stomach. He retreated into his screen, typing faster to drown it out, but Mark's laugh lingered, planting seeds of isolation that grew quietly. Anna overheard from across the room, her jaw tightening. She'd seen that look on her son's face too many times. By mid-morning, the experiment buzz dominated break-room talk, whispers of challenges and rankings floating like smoke. Ethan overheard fragments. "Who's the weak link?" and felt his pulse quicken, fingers drumming a silent code on his thigh to self-soothe. He excelled at tasks, spotting errors others missed, yet social tests always tripped him up, exposing vulnerabilities no spreadsheet could fix. The manager's gaze lingered on him during rounds, appraising, and Ethan wondered if this was the real evaluation. Not skills, but how well he masked his differences. Anna caught the exchange, her protective instinct flaring unexpectedly for this stranger who shared her fringe existence. Lunch came, and Ethan unpacked his turkey sandwich, no crust, bread soft, mustard precise, sitting alone by the vending machine's hum, a tolerable white noise. He watched the group at the long table, Anna picking at salad, Mark dominating conversation with boasts, others nodding along. Isolation wrapped around him like a familiar coat, warm in its predictability. Yet a pang hit when Anna glanced his way, her eyes holding questions he couldn't answer aloud. He remembered his mother's words long ago. People fear what they don't understand, and wondered if today would prove her right again. The sandwich turned tasteless as unspoken judgments thickened the air. Afternoon tasks ramped up, groups forming under the manager's watchful eye, and Ethan found himself paired with the loudest voices, Mark's crew, full of interruptions and side jokes he couldn't pass. "Ethan, you're on reports," Mark said casually, tossing files his way without thanks, assuming compliance. Ethan's mind raced through data, efficient as ever, but the overlapping talk frayed his edges, making focus slip like sand. He paused, breathing steady to recalibrate, aware of their impatience growing. Anna, in her group nearby, shot him a sympathetic look, her own frustrations mirroring his quiet battle. A printer jammed across the floor, red light flashing angrily, and groans rippled through the room as printouts piled up undelivered. Without a word, Ethan rose, tools in pocket from habit, and knelt by the machine, his hands steady amid the chaos others avoided. Fingers probed circuits, reset trays, the familiar puzzle pulling him in completely, clicks and whirs responding like old friends. Mark hovered, phone out filming the fix-it guy, chuckling to his group about superpowers. Ethan ignored it, wiping ink from hands, but inside, resentment simmered. Always the helper, never the equal. Anna watched, impressed, her respect deepening for this unassuming strength. As fixes complete, he returned to his desk, only to find his chair slightly askew, not much but enough to disrupt his alignment ritual. He adjusted it meticulously, ignoring stares, but the subtle sabotage registered deep, someone testing boundaries, pushing to see if he'd snap. Patterns in behavior emerged, Mark's smirk, others averting eyes, confirming what he long suspected about group dynamics. Anna noticed too, her folder slipping from numb fingers. She picked it up, wondering if the experiment targeted the quiet ones first. Ethan's calm facade held, but cracks formed, promising retaliation in ways they couldn't predict. The manager circled again, clipboard in hand, dropping hints of performance metrics tied to the week's mystery goal. Ethan's Excel sheets gleamed with insights no one else caught, projections, anomalies flagged, yet the praise went elsewhere, to flashier efforts. He felt the invisibility keenly, a lifetime of contributions overlooked for lack of charisma. Deep in thought, he recalled therapy sessions teaching advocacy, words he practiced in mirrors but rarely voiced. Today, though, the stakes felt higher, the air charged with unseen consequences. Anna passed notes under desks, a covert ally forming in glances. 5 o'clock neared, fluorescence humming louder in Ethan's sensitized ears, and fatigue set in, not physical, but the cumulative weight of masking all day. He saved files methodically, double-checking alignments, while others packed bags with banter. Mark lingered, tossing a good one robot that landed like gravel, but Ethan met his eyes steadily for the first time, holding just long enough to unsettle. Anna lingered too, pretending to organize, her maternal radar pinging at the tension. Something unspoken brewed between the three, a triangle of judgment and quiet defiance. Outside, rain began pattering against windows, mirroring Ethan's inner storm as he powered down, routine complete despite the disruptions. He zipped his bag, photo of lost parents, a final glance for courage, stealing for tomorrow's unknown variables. Whispers from the hall reached him. Ethan's glitchy today, fueling resolve to endure, to prove patterns of prejudice wrong. Anna waved goodbye, her smile genuine amid the fakeness, sparking a rare warmth in his chest. Locking his drawer, Ethan paused at a sticky note someone left. "Fix this too?" With a broken stapler drawing. Petty, but revealing. The office's undercurrent of cruelty surfacing in pranks. He pocketed it, mind already solving, but heart heavier with isolation's toll. Anna saw from afar, piecing together the targeted games, her empathy shifting to fierce protectiveness for this fellow outsider. As lights dimmed, Ethan stood last, surveying the empty space, desks cluttered, his alone pristine, a metaphor for their worlds colliding subtly. He flicked the final switch, plunging the room to shadow, but carried the day's fragments home. Glances, gestures, the growing sense of alliance with Anna. Tomorrow loomed larger, the experiment's true nature whispering closer. He arrived even earlier than usual, slipping through the side door of the Clearfield office building before dawn could fully break over Pennsylvania's rolling hills, his footsteps measured and soft against the linoleum like echoes of a private metronome. Ethan arranged his desk with ritualistic care, pens aligned in perfect rows facing north, keyboard precisely centered on the mousepad, a single framed photo of distant parents angled just so in the corner's shadow. No one else stirred yet in the dim fluorescent haze, granting him this sacred quiet where the world obeyed logic instead of whim. He settled into his chair, fingers dancing over keys in familiar patterns, already vanishing into code that whispered secrets no one else heard. But this morning carried a faint discord, an off note in the air conditioning's hum, like the first ripple before chaos. His daily rhythm unfolded without fail. Black coffee from the ancient machine downstairs, exactly 3 measured sips to anchor the senses, then immersion into spreadsheets where numbers bloomed into constellations only he could map. Colleagues whispered robot in passing, aping his steady monotone or aversion to their chaotic small talk, but Ethan embraced the term. Machines endured without the bruise of misunderstanding. Beneath the surface, though, old wounds surfaced. Playground jeers fading into adult rejections, jobs slipping away for team-fit failures, the hollow longing for bonds that overwhelmed his wiring. He twisted his sleeve cuff rhythmically, a tactile lifeline as distant voices hinted at approach, office clamor building like an unwelcome tide. Anna glided past on her way to her cubicle, murmuring a soft, "Good morning," that he acknowledged with a precise nod, his gaze lifting briefly to catch the weariness etching her features. She pondered him often, this fixer of jammed printers and silent error hunters who never sought applause or joined watercooler banter. Whispers labeled him everything from awkward to impaired, yet Anna glimpsed a steady kindness mirroring her own vigilant shield over a fragile son. Ethan registered her fleeting hesitation, the subtle sag in her posture carrying unseen burdens, but speech tangled in his throat. Instead, he slid a spare coffee stirrer across the desk edge, an unspoken offering lost on all but her. Their orbits grazed, unspoken currents hinting at fragile bridges ahead. The team flooded in waves of disruption, booming laughs rebounding off partition walls, cloying perfumes invading his space, chairs dragged with grating unpredictability that set his teeth on edge. Mark from sales slapped Ethan's shoulder too forcefully, crowing about revving the robot's engines, his toothy grin masking the glee in Ethan's instinctive flinch. Sensory barrage mounted, lights buzzing like angry wasps, conversations layering into white noise assault, Cologne's chemical bite turning nausea in his gut. Ethan retreated to his monitor's glow, keystrokes accelerating to outpace the onslaught. Yet Mark's parting chuckle seeded deeper isolation, a fertile ground for tomorrow's barbs. Anna overheard from afar, fists clenching under her desk in shared recognition. Mid-morning chatter swirled around the experiment like thickening fog, snippets of weak links and rankings piercing Ethan's focus during coffee refills. His pulse notched up, fingers tapping Morse-like patterns on his thigh for grounding amid the veiled threats. Data tasks bent to his will effortlessly, anomalies flagged, efficiencies uncovered. But social gauntlets always unraveled him, bearing flaws no algorithm could patch. The manager's lingering scrutiny during walkthroughs appraised him coldly, stirring dread that this veiled trial measured not output, but conformity's mask. Anna intercepted the stare across aisles, her fierce maternal spark igniting unexpectedly for this parallel outsider navigating the same margins. Lunch unfolded in ritual solitude by the vending machine's steady drone, Ethan's turkey sandwich unwrapped methodically, crustless bread yielding evenly, mustard striped with geometric care, textures calibrated for calm. He observed the central table's theater, Anna prodding limp salad greens, Mark commandeering airtime with brash tales, sycophants chiming approval. Familiar solitude cloaked him comfortably, yet a sharp twinge struck when Anna's gaze wandered his way, laden with unvoiced inquiries his tongue couldn't shape. Echoes of his late mother's counsel resurfaced. They fear the unfamiliar, tempting him to test her words against this brewing storm. The meal soured subtly as ambient judgments coagulated. Afternoon assignments clustered under managerial oversight, thrusting Ethan into Mark's boisterous orbit where quips flew like shrapnel he couldn't deflect. "Reports are yours, buddy," Mark decreed airily, dumping stacks without eye contact, presuming robotic obedience. Ethan's cognition surged through datasets flawlessly, yet verbal crossfire shredded concentration, threads of focus fraying under relentless interruption. He inhaled deeply, recalibrating breath to steady the spin, sensing their mounting irritation like gathering clouds. Anna, entangled nearby, flashed a commiserating glance, her own skirmishes echoing his muted warfare against the tide. A printer's shrill jam alarm pierced the din across the floor, red indicator pulsing as queues backed up in futile fury, groans cascading from frustrated users. Ethan rose wordlessly, toolkit jangling softly from his pocket habit, kneeling amid the mechanical corpse with surgeon's poise. Probes delved circuits, trays realigned with clicks of resolution, the puzzle yielding to his innate command like loyal soldiers. Mark loomed with phone raised, narrating robot versus machine for his audience's amusement, chuckles underscoring the spectacle. Ethan tuned it out, ink-stained hands emerging victorious, though inner embers of indignation glowed, perpetual servant, perpetual other. Mission accomplished, he reclaimed his station only to find his chair nudged askew, a minor deviation, yet catastrophic to his spatial order. He realigned it with painstaking increments, disregarding gawking peers, the deliberate meddling etching into memory like code corruption. Behavioral fractals crystallized, Mark's smug curl, averted glances confirming orchestrated hazing. Anna witnessed the adjustment, her grip faltering on a report stack, Retrieving it, she connected the prankish dots, targeting the voiceless first. Ethan's composure armored on, fissures widening toward unforeseen reprisals. Managerial patrols resumed, clipboard brandished like a scepter, allusions to linked metrics for the week's enigma dripping with implication. Ethan's worksheets shimmered with prescient forecasts and buried insights overlooked in favor of performative flair. Invisibility gnawed acutely, decades of overlooked genius penalized by charisma's absence. Therapeutic mantras of self-advocacy replayed silently, mirror-rehearsed speeches dormant until now. Stakes escalated palpably, atmosphere crackling with latent fallout. Anna relayed discreet desk-passed memos, embryonic solidarity blooming in stolen looks. Quitting time loomed under intensifying fluorescent drone assaulting Ethan's ears, exhaustion layering not from labor, but perpetual camouflage. Files archived with redundant verifies, alignments sanctified amid packing banter. Marks parting, solid day bot, grated like sandpaper, but Ethan locked eyes fractionally longer, injecting rare disequilibrium. Anna dawdled, ostensibly tidying, her radar attuned to the brewing triad of scorn and resolve. Unarticulated energies coiled between them, prelude to fracture lines. Rain tattooed windows externally, syncing with Ethan's internal tempest as shutdown rituals concluded despite interferences. Bag zipped, parental photo consulted for resolve's ember, bracing for variable-laden tomorrows. Hallway murmurs drifted. Ethan glitched hard today. Galvanizing determination to defy discriminatory algorithms. Anna's parting wave pierced the artifice, kindling uncommon chest warmth amid the chill. Drawer secured, Ethan pocketed a prankish sticky note. Fix this? Beside a doodled, mangled stapler, trivial yet telling of emergent malice. Puzzle-solving gears engaged instinctively, spirit leadened by solitude's levy. Anna observed remotely, assembling the bullying mosaic, her allegiance hardening toward this kindred fringe-dweller. Lights winked out sequentially, Ethan lingering to behold the tableau. Chaotic desks versus his immaculate bastion, emblem of encroaching intersections. Final switch plunged void, ferrying fragments homeward. Exchanged looks, mute aids, alliance's nascent pulse. Dawn promised amplified trials, experiment's core pulsing nearer. As the building exhaled its last daytime breath, Ethan stepped into the downpour, sensing Anna's parallel exit somewhere behind. Two silhouettes unknowingly synced, the true challenge's silhouette sharpening against the storm-lit horizon. Anna woke to her phone buzzing at 4 a.m, the screen glowing with a text from her babysitter. Fever's back. He's asking for you. She rubbed her eyes, heart sinking as Clearfield's winter chill seeped through the thin apartment walls. Her son, 7 years old and fragile from endless doctor's visits, needed medicine that her paycheck barely covered. She dressed quickly in the dark, blazer hanging loose on her frame, whispering promises to the empty room. Today felt heavier, the office experiment's shadow already pressing down before coffee. She drove through fog-shrouded streets, radio murmuring layoffs at the local factory, each story echoing her own precarious edge. Bills piled on the passenger seat, rent overdue, utilities threatening cutoff, pharmacy receipts like accusations. Anna gripped the wheel tighter, memories flooding of her ex walking out 2 years ago, leaving her to juggle motherhood alone. 1 more month, she told herself, but doubt gnawed deeper. The office loomed ahead, indifferent to her private war. Parking crookedly, she hurried inside, heels clicking too loudly in the empty lobby, coffee sloshing over the lid onto her sleeve. Steam rose like fleeting hope, but the burn matched her inner fire. Exhaustion masked as determination. She rode the elevator alone, rehearsing excuses for any tardiness, knowing judgments waited upstairs. Her reflection stared back, hollow-cheeked, a woman stretched too thin. Resilience cracked just a little more each dawn. Ethan was already there, silhouetted against his screen's blue glow, fingers pausing mid-keystroke as if sensing her approach. Anna managed a nod, settling at her desk piled with yesterday's unfinished reports. She powered on her computer, inbox flooding with urgent flags, each demanding time she didn't have. Whispers started early, Mark's voice carrying mommy track laced with disdain. Her cheeks flushed, but she typed faster, burying pain in productivity. The morning meeting dragged under fluorescent hum, manager unveiling Challenge 1, paired deliverables by noon. Anna drew Mark and Lisa, their smirks signaling dismissal before words formed. "We'll handle strategy," Mark said smoothly, reassigning her to data entry. She nodded, throat tight, feeling smallness swell like a wave. Ethan's group nearby erupted in laughter at his literal question, isolating him further. Shared glances flickered, 2 targets marked. Break room coffee scalded her tongue as colleagues chatted bonuses, their ease a stark mirror to her scramble. Anna checked her phone. Sitters update, fever persisting, school absence logged. Guilt, twisted sharper than hunger pangs ignored for lunch savings. She returned to mockery, Lisa mimicking her family emergencies with eye rolls. Anna's hands shook sorting files, dignity fraying thread by thread. By 10, her group's project veered off track, Mark overriding her fixes with bluster, while Lisa texted under the table. Anna's suggestions landed ignored, voice softening to near whispers under their barrage. Deep ache bloomed, not just professional slight, but echoes of playground bullies dismissing her son. She persisted quietly, data flawless despite sabotage. Ethan's distant typing steadied her somehow. A client call demanded her input. Mark muted her mid-sentence, promising to summarize. Humiliation burned as the line went dead, her expertise erased. Anna stared at her notes, ink blurring from a traitorous tear. Memories surged, courtroom battles for custody, proving motherhood didn't disqualify competence. She wiped her face, resolve hardening into steel, but cracks widened, vulnerability exposed. Lunch alone again, yogurt spoon clinking hollowly, rain streaking windows like unchecked tears. Phone vibrated. Sitter. "He's sleeping now, but worried about you." Anna's chest constricted, worlds colliding painfully. She imagined his small hand clutching a worn bear, waiting for her return. Strength wavered. This job was lifeline or noose. Across the divide, Ethan's routine sandwich appeared untouched, his gaze distant amid group revelry. Anna pondered reaching out, bridging their silences, but fear paralyzed, rejection twice over too risky. Yet empathy bridged invisibly, 2 souls adrift in corporate seas. She forced a bite, tasteless fuel for endurance. Afternoon deadlines loomed, her portion ballooning as partners dumped tasks casually. Fingers flew over keys, accuracy her rebellion, but fatigue blurred edges. Manager passed, noting nothing, favor curving toward charisma. Anna's mind wandered to eviction notices, son's future teetering. Desperation fueled output, invisible armor denting. Mark's accidental coffee spill soaked her keyboard at 3, papers warping in the mess. "Oops, mom brain?" he quipped, laughter rippling. Anna mopped silently, shame flooding hot. Ethan's eyes met hers briefly, understanding, not pity. That spark ignited something fierce within, alliance unspoken. Quitting time blurred into overtime, son's needs pulling against duty's chains. Anna powered through, reports pristine amid chaos. Whispers peaked. She'll crack first. Isolation peaked too, but maternal fire burned brighter. Something shifted internally, no longer prey but watchful. As lights dimmed, Anna lingered packing, spotting Ethan's steady form. Their eyes locked meaningfully, silent vow forming. The experiment's cruelty sharpened focus, revealing hidden strengths. But deeper threats brewed, personal stakes rising perilously. She stepped into rain-slicked night, phone clutched tight, sitter's text, a beacon. "He's better." Hurry home. Yet office shadows clung, experiment's grip tightening. Anna sensed collision course, her world, Ethan's, unraveling together toward unknown reckoning. Mark's laughter cut through the conference room like a blade at 11 sharp, his voice booming as he leaned back in his chair, eyes locked on Ethan during the group brainstorm. Come on, robot, give us something creative. Or is that not in your programming? The words landed heavy, the team snickering in unison, chairs creaking as they shifted for better view of Ethan's frozen face. Anna, 2 seats away, felt her stomach twist, recognizing the familiar cruelty masked as fun, the same tone teachers used on her son during group projects. Ethan's fingers gripped his pen until knuckles whitened, but he stayed silent, patterns in his mind fracturing under the spotlight. Lisa joined in seamlessly, flipping her hair with a smirk. Yeah, Ethan, loosen up. This experiment's about teamwork, not spreadsheets. Her phone buzzed ignored on the table, screen lighting up notifications from social feeds full of office memes targeting the quiet ones. Anna's jaw clenched. She'd overheard them earlier planning ratings for the weak links, their casual venom turning the air thick. Ethan stared at his notepad, lines blurring as sensory overload mounted, laughter echoing too loud, lights too bright, escape routes mentally mapped. Anna shot him a quick glance, willing strength across the divide. The manager hovered by the door, arms crossed, a faint smile playing on his lips as if tallying reactions for some hidden scorecard. No intervention came. Instead, he nodded approval at Mark's next jab about diversity quotas. Anna's blood heated. This wasn't challenge. It was theater, with Ethan and her as unwitting props in their power play. Memories hit her. PTA meetings where parents whispered about her special needs kid, judging her competence by association. Ethan's breathing shallowed, sleeve twist accelerating under the table. Break followed, but mockery spilled into the hallway, Mark high-fiving Lisa over nailing the icebreaker. Ethan slipped away to the stairwell, back pressed against cold concrete, counting breaths to reset. 1, 2, 3, steady now. Anna lingered by the coffee machine, pouring slowly to eavesdrop, her own exclusion fresh from morning dismissals. She wanted to follow him, say something bridging, but words stuck like her heels in doubt. Whispers chased her too. Late mom next. Back at desks, sabotage whispers grew bolder, staplers vanishing, files rearranged just off. Mark accidentally bumped Ethan's chair, sending it wheeling into the aisle with a clatter. Whoops, glitch, he called, group erupting again. Anna watched Ethan write it methodically, face impassive but eyes shadowed deeper. Her printer jammed next, paper shreds mocking her from the tray. Coincidence or pattern? Rage simmered low, maternal protectiveness extending unexpectedly. Lunch break, amplified isolation. The main table a fortress of inside jokes excluding them both. Mark recounted the robot routine with impressions, Lisa filming snippets for group chat. Ethan ate by the window, sandwich quartered precisely, gaze fixed on rain patterns outside. Anna joined a side table alone, salad wilting like her patience, phone silent from home worries. Their eyes met across space, shared understanding, no pity. Something unspoken bonded, fragile but real. Afternoon tasks weaponized further, groups reshuffled to maximize friction. Ethan landed again with Mark's crew, handed vague specs laced with traps. Make it poppy! Mark barked, already scrolling memes. Anna's trio piled data entry on her, freeing them for strategy calls. She typed furiously, spotting errors they'd miss, but credit flowed elsewhere. Ethan's reports gleamed flawless amid chaos, ignored. A team email circulated mid-task, anonymous poll ranking team players, Ethan's name bottom with laughing emojis. Anna saw it flash on shared screens, fury boiling over silently. She deleted her vote instinctively, protecting him digital style. Ethan noticed the lull in typing around him, isolation peaking like a held breath. Whispers evolved to outright exclusion from water runs. Manager called impromptu huddles, praising loud voices while glossing Ethan's fixes. Mark's energy sets the pace, he said, ignoring data miracles. Anna interjected once. Ethan caught the discrepancy, met with shrugs. Her voice echoed hollow, amplifying her fringe status. Ethan's calm cracked slightly, jaw ticking. 5 o'clock neared, tension coiling like springs. Pranks escalated. Ethan's mouse cord unplugged mid-save, work vanishing. Tech gremlins, Mark howled, resetting loudly for show. Anna's files similarly glitched, hours lost. She rebuilt quietly, empathy forging alliance, their desks islands amid storm. Mark cornered Ethan at quitting time, arms slung casual. Lighten up, man. It's just the experiment. Ethan met his gaze evenly, words forming slow. Words hurt more than jams. Room hushed briefly, shock rippling. Anna overheard, pride swelling unexpected. Lights flickered on timers, office emptying to echoes. Anna approached Ethan's desk hesitantly. You okay? Simple. Real. He nodded, faint smile breaking through. Bond solidified in silence, cruelty's weight shared now. Rain pounded harder outside, mirroring inner tempests. Mockery paused, but not ended. Tomorrow loomed darker. Yet in glances exchanged, resistance stirred, experiment cracking under human weight. As doors swung shut behind the last levers, Anna and Ethan lingered unknowingly synced, whispers of deeper sabotage drifting like smoke. But now, eyes open to the game's true rules. Wednesday dawned heavier in Clearfield, the office air thick with unspoken scores from yesterday's barbs, fluorescent lights buzzing like judgment itself as Anna arrived, gripping her thermos tighter than usual. Her son's fever had broken overnight, but exhaustion carved deeper lines around her eyes, each step echoing resolve amid fragility. Ethan was already positioned, desk fortress intact despite overnight intrusions, his gaze meeting hers with a nod that carried yesterday's silent pact. Whispers reignited instantly. Mark's crew huddled by the printer, voices low but laced with anticipation for round 2. Morning huddle set brutal pace. Manager announced survival pairs for high-stakes project, deliberately yoking Anna with Lisa's sarcasm and Ethan's solo against Mark's dominance. Prove your value, manager intoned, eyes gleaming on the vulnerable. Anna's stomach knotted. Her segment demanded client-ready polish by lunch, Lisa already delegating grunt work with manicured dismissals. Ethan's task loomed numerical minefield, Mark circling like predator scenting weakness. Anna's screen filled with Lisa's sloppy drafts by 9:30, errors glaring but blamed on her checking family texts. Fingers trembled over corrections, voice muted in suggestions drowned by Lisa's phone scrolling. Deep shame welled, mirroring school runs where teachers questioned her priorities, now corporate echo chamber amplifying failure fears. Ethan's distant typing faltered audibly across aisle, Mark's booming overrides shattering focus. 10 o'clock brought first fracture. Anna's polished slides rejected outright, Lisa claiming not visionary enough while pocketing credit. Tears pricked hot behind lids, but she rebuilt silently, maternal steel forging through humiliation. Phone buzzed, Sitter's all-good text a lifeline swallowed by urgency. Ethan's voice rose fractionally nearby, clarifying data point drowned in Mark's laughter. Shared torment pulsed between desks. Mid-morning crisis erupted. Client email flagged major discrepancy in group deliverable, fingers pointing straight at Anna's late input. Lisa feigned shock, Mark amplifying with mom distractions. Anna's heart hammered, proof of edits buried in version history she'd meticulously tracked. Manager loomed expectant, room holding collective breath for her crumble. Ethan interjected unexpectedly from his station. Logs show timestamps. Her version fixed it. Flat tone cut tension. Data irrefutable on shared drive. Room stilled, Mark's smirk faltering momentarily. Anna met Ethan's eyes, gratitude flooding silent. First crack in their isolation armor. Lisa recovered with deflection, but seed planted. Lunch bypassed entirely. Anna hunched over revisions while stomach growled ignored, rain lashing windows like accusations. Ethan's untouched sandwich sat sentinel, his focus unbreakable amid sabotage whispers. Mark tested by swapping Ethan's mouse with broken spare, chuckling at confusion. Anna witnessed, urge rising to intervene fiercely. Afternoon deadline crushed under sabotage wave. Anna's USB yanked mid-presentation prep, files vanishing into digital void. No backups. Hours evaporated. Panic clawed throat, vision blurring as Lisa shrugged. User error. Memories crashed. X deleting shared docs during custody war, erasing her voice entirely. Fingers recreated from memory, desperation fueling precision. Ethan's corner fared worse. Mark collaborated by deleting key formulas, claiming team refresh. Ethan's face drained color, hands hovering paralyzed over blank cells, patterns obliterated, safe world imploding. Anna heard the sharp inhale, empathy overriding self-preservation. She slid printed backup his way covertly under desk partition. 3 o'clock, huddle exposed carnage, manager spotlighted disasters, Mark spinning narratives of unreliable partners. Anna's throat closed on defense, voice reduced to whisper drowned out. Ethan's data shown flawless despite assault, yet credited to group effort. Isolation peaked suffocating. Alliance their lone oxygen. Catastrophe peaked at 4. Anna's rebuilt deck emailed prematurely by Lisa, riddled with sabotage-induced flaws drawing client fury. Reprimand email blasted team-wide, her name bolded in shame. Collapse loomed. Job loss meant homelessness, son's care severed. She gripped desk edge, knuckles bone white. Ethan abandoned his task, crossing to her station unbidden. First voluntary approach ever. I recovered it, he murmured. Thumb drive extended, his untouched work sacrificed for her salvation. Room gaped. Mark's jaw slackened in disbelief. Anna's eyes welled, hand closing over drive, lifeline from shadows. Manager witnessed exchange, notepad flipping furiously, experiment parameters fracturing under raw humanity, whispers shifted tone subtly, awe edging cruelty. Anna whispered, "Thank you," voice cracking genuine. Ethan's faint nod, sealed pact deeper than words. Quitting bell rang hollow as rebuilds raced clock. Anna and Ethan workstations fused in urgent tandem, her narration over his flawless visuals. Success flickered possible amid wreckage. Mark hovered defeated, Lisa scrolling disengaged. Storm broke not with thunder, but quiet victory brewing. As fluorescence dimmed, manager's gaze lingered appraisingly on their improbable duo, unseen cameras perhaps whirring. Anna powered down breathless, Ethan's steady presence anchor amid turmoil. Tomorrow's threats loomed larger, but unbreakable thread now bound them, experiment's true subjects awakening. Thursday carried electric undercurrents through Clearfield's office, Anna arriving with thumb drive clutched like talisman, Ethan's recovery work her midnight salvation fueling cautious hope amid wreckage. Her son's laugh over phone last night echoed lifeline, but corporate storm clouds gathered thicker, manager's notepad from yesterday's witness burning in memory. Ethan nodded arrival, desk pristine despite assaults, their shared glances now loaded with unspoken strategy. Mark's crew slunk quieter, eyes darting wary at the shifted power. Morning briefing unveiled recalibration phase, manager's tone silkier masking intensified scrutiny, pairs dissolved for individual stress audits. Anna drew brutal inventory task, thousands of records to audit solo by end of day, impossible under normal load. Ethan's coding challenge loomed parallel, debug legacy system under timed pressure, traps embedded deliberately. Lisa smirked passing, "Don't drop the ball again, Mom." Anna's spine straightened, fire kindled. By 10, audit volume crushed her, entries blurring into nightmare, coffee cold untouched as fingers cramped. Phone silenced in drawer, guilt gnawing at ignored sitter check-ins. son's fragile health tethering desperation. Ethan's corner echoed similar frenzy, keyboard clatter frantic against clock, Mark helping by piping distracting music. Anna caught his sleeve twist flare, mouthing "breathe" across void. 11 crisis. Manager dropped unannounced walkthrough, clipboard poised over Anna's partial progress, brow furrowing at inefficiency. Family pulling focus, he probed thinly veiled. Humiliation scorched, memories of welfare lines where judgments cut deepest resurfacing raw. She rallied data defense, voice steady despite quake. Ethan's station next, code half complete, manager's scoff audible. Ethan's flat rebuttal stunned. Core logic intact, optimizing paths. Manager paused, notepad flipping slower, first concession extracted. Anna's heart surged, pride unexpected, maternal instinct claiming him kin in battle. Whispers circulated. Robots stepping up? Tone laced reluctant respect. Lisa rolled eyes, but momentum shifted subtly. Lunch forsaken, Anna powered through rows, spotting patterns Ethan's style would admire. Cross-desk notes flying covertly with optimization tips. He reciprocated formulas streamlining her counts, alliance evolving tactical. Stomachs growled ignored, focus laser-sharp against sabotage backdrop. Mark hovered impotently, phone scrolling disengaged. Afternoon gauntlet intensified. Fake client escalations flooded inboxes, deadlines slashed arbitrarily testing breaking points. Anna fielded furious calls, voice honeyed professionalism masking inner scream, son's face anchoring endurance. Ethan's debug hit wall, planted virus evading scans, frustration etching rare frown. She signaled patterns, igniting his epiphany. 2 o'clock revelation. Ethan cracked code, virus isolated surgically, system purring flawless. Anna's audit mirrored triumph. Discrepancies flagged comprehensively, report gleaming executive ready. Manager materialized, scanning outputs appraisingly, nods replacing sneers. Impressive recoveries, he conceded grudgingly, eyes narrowing calculation. Mark attempted salvage, piping up team effort obviously, but manager waved dismissal, crediting individual merits pointedly at them. Room tension crackled, Lisa's glare venomous, crew exchanging uneasy looks. Anna met Ethan's gaze, silent, high-five electric. Bond solidified unbreakable, prejudice's foundation trembling. 3:30 pivot. Manager summoned private huddles, Anna first. Your resilience noted. But can you sustain? Probe-laced opportunity threat. She affirmed fiercely, son's future stealing spine. Ethan's turn yielded similar. Adaptability beyond metrics. Manager's facade cracked fractionally, humanity piercing experiment veil. Whispers evolved defensive, Mark muttering lucky breaks to shrinking audience, isolation rebounding on tormentors. Anna and Ethan's desks became beacons, colleagues edging closer with subtle queries. Power inverted quietly, experiments architects cornered unexpectedly. 4 o'clock deluge, bonus project dumped, presentation merging their wins for executive review tomorrow. Impossible alone, perfect tandem. They converged instinctively, Anna narrating vision over Ethan's visuals, synergy electric. Mark watched sidelined, face thunderous impotence. Success coalesced by 5, deck-polished masterpiece transcending sabotage. Manager reviewed draft, rare smile genuine. This changes parameters. Revelation dawned, their quiet courage rewriting rules. Anna powered down triumphant, Ethan's nod profound gratitude. Rain eased outside, clearing skies mirroring inner shift as they exited synced, manager's gaze trailing thoughtfully. Office transformed subtly, respect seeds sown, cruelty withering. But deeper layers lurked, true test cresting. As elevators descended parallel, Anna sensed unveiling imminent, hidden observers, real stakes clarifying. Ethan's steady presence fortified her. Whatever revelation dawned tomorrow, they'd face allied unbreakable. Friday morning broke with deceptive calm over Clearfield, Pennsylvania. Anna pulling into the lot early for once, thermos steaming in her grip as yesterday's triumphs lingered like fragile armor against the unknown. Her son's voice still echoed from last night's call. "Mom, you sound strong today," fueling her step through lobby doors where fluorescent hum greeted like old foe. Ethan waited at his desk, alignment perfect, their nod exchange now ritual laced with trust forged in fire. Mark's crew arrived subdued, glances evasive, but manager's arrival carried weightier shadow, briefcase clutched like verdict container. All staff assembly convened at 9 sharp in the main conference room, chairs scraping tense as manager dimmed lights, projector whirring to life with security footage compilation spanning the week. "The real experiment," he began, voice steady, "was never tasks. It measured character under pressure. Hidden cameras captured everything." Gasps rippled. Anna's pulse thundered, piecing sabotage origins. Ethan's sleeve twist resuming instinctively under table. Screens flickered faces, mockery clips, prank executions, exclusion plots laid bare raw. First reel targeted Mark's crew. Hallway high-fives post-jabs, stapler swaps filmed gleeful. Lisa's eye-roll montages synced to Ethan's flinches. Laughter died collective as their cruelty looped merciless, manager's silence amplifying shame waves crashing. Anna sat frozen, vindication bittersweet amid shared exposure, memories of her son's bullied tears overlaying scenes. Ethan's breathing steadied visibly, patterns decoding the orchestrated fall. Anna's footage surfaced next, late arrivals contextualized by sitter texts flashing on screen, data corrections time-stamped against overrides, her quiet rebuilds montaged heroic. "Resilience redefined," manager narrated softly, room shifting uncomfortably as her erased contributions restored publicly. Tears brimmed unchecked now, pride surging maternal for battles mirrored on wall. Ethan's faint nod across aisle anchored her amid spotlight glare. Ethan's segments stunned deepest. Printer fixes sped up virtuoso, code recoveries surgical, deleted work resurrected frame-by-frame genius. "Silent excellence," manager intoned, clips showing Mark's deletions followed by Ethan's unflappable rebuilds. Awe hushed the space, previous robot jeers inverting to reverence whispers. Anna's chest swelled unexpected kinship, his vulnerabilities weaponized now strengths unveiled. Mark shifted uneasily, face paling as personal lowlights compiled, coffee spills intentional, rankings rigged, boasts hollowed by footage truth. Lisa buried face in hands, phone memes backfiring eternally captured. Collective realization dawned. Experiment ensnared hunters too, mirrors merciless. Anna met their eyes without triumph, only weary understanding of prejudice's toll. Manager paused projector, lights rising slow on frozen faces, his tone shifting confessional. Purpose, expose biases crippling teams, failures recorded for HR review. Murmurs erupted defensive, but Ethan's calm pierced, data shows patterns predictable. Manager nodded concession, first equality acknowledged. Anna gripped armrests, justice bittersweet precipice. Reactions cascaded, apologies stumbled awkward from Mark's lips toward Ethan, Lisa mumbling to Anna about misunderstandings. Sincerity dubious, yet momentum irreversible, room air purifying subtly. Anna accepted nods graciously, son's lesson echoing, forgiveness frees bearer first. Ethan's understood flat but profound, closing loops others fumbled. Break dissolved tension temporarily, water cooler chatter recalibrating dynamics, colleagues edging near Ethan with genuine queries. Anna fielding respect newly earned. Mark lingered peripheral, isolation rebounding poetic. Manager pulled them aside privately. Your metrics redefined success. Revelation layered, not just survival, but transformation architects. Lunch transformed communal. Invitations extended tentative to their table. Ethan's sandwich quartered shared. Anna's stories drawing nods empathetic. Barriers crumbled visibly. laughter genuine now, excluding no one. Phone buzzed, sitter's update, positive, syncing with office thaw. Ethan's rare smile flickered, patterns aligning harmonious finally. Afternoon reassigned collaborative. Anna and Ethan leading mixed groups, expertise guiding former foes. Mark contributed earnest under their lead, Lisa querying techniques humbly. Manager observed notepad idle, smiles authentic. Power realigned organically. Experiments true yield, emerging unity. 4 o'clock reflection circle mandated, each voicing learned lessons. Vulnerability raw. Anna spoke motherhood's forge. Ethan patterns wisdom. Mark admitting fear's cruelty. Tears collective cathartic. Bonds reforged stronger. Anna's heart mended incrementally. Son's future brighter reflected. Quitting approached celebratory. Handshakes replacing nods. Managers parting. Week 2 builds on this. Rain ceased outside. Sun piercing clouds symbolic. Anna and Ethan's exit synced purposeful. Alliance evolved family-like. Desks cleared orderly now. Respect permeating spaces once toxic. Ethan's photo parents seemed to watch approvingly. Anna texting son, "We won today." Manager's gaze followed thoughtfully from window. Elevators descended lighter, Clearfield streets gleaming post-storm. Revelation reshaped not just office, but souls within. Prejudice shattered. Humanity triumphant. But final layers beckoned. Deeper truths shimmering horizon. As building faded behind, Anna glanced Ethan's way, unspoken question lingering. What ultimate test awaited their unbreakable duo? The weekend passed reflectively for Anna in her modest Clearfield apartment. Sunlight warming block towers she built with her son. Each stack echoing Ethan's steady patterns that rescued her career week. Monday surged back vibrant, office reborn. Colleagues smiling genuinely by name. Mark holding doors sincerely. Lisa offering coffee runs warmly now. Ethan's desk attracted respectful questioners, admiring his coding genius. Isolation erased by revelation's glow. Anna's spirit soared, watching his eased posture. Sleeve twists fading, their bond inspiring kindness ripples wide. Morning huddle overflowed with optimism. Manager lauding their duo's deck metrics. Executive praises emailed team-wide for all. Anna voiced strategies heard clearly. Motherhood framed as core strength, not flaw anymore. Ethan's pattern insights unified discussions. Mark contributing honestly. Lisa noting overlooked details thoughtfully. Prejudice's ruins nurtured genuine collaborative growth across the board. Client calls hummed seamlessly. Anna commanding with Ethan's data support. Perfect. Mutual kudos flowing freely now. Lunch tables merged fully inclusive. Ethan's sandwich shared portions. Stories exchanged without barriers or judgments harsh. Anna recounted son's recovery warmly. Ethan's family photo drawing kind curiosities answered evenly. Full harmony pulsed through the transformed space. Afternoon ideas ignited naturally. Anna proposed family flex policies from lived trials. Ethan designing sensory workspaces backed by data solid. Manager backed both fully, whiteboards alive with joint visions sketched. Mark confessed past errors openly. Lisa championed allyship actively now. Experiment scars bloomed into lasting unity benefits. 4 o'clock milestone hit. HR unveiled policy shifts crediting their resilient story. Training built on anonymized footage lessons learned. Anna's eyes misted with quiet joy, securing her son's brighter path through hard-won change. Ethan's subtle nod across conveyed shared pride deeper than spoken words could reach. Triumph sealed their quiet revolution complete. Mark neared end of day shyly, hand outstretched to Ethan firmly. Your lessons outdid any numbers shown. Firm clasp sealed his redemption path, complete and real. Anna observed with maternal warmth extending outward, quiet courage vanquishing bias through endurance pure. Lisa joined their circle casually, toasting coffee to true team spirit alive. Elevators dropped lighter with easy chatter flowing past work boundaries natural. Ethan's puzzle hobbies shared. Anna's family tales met with warmth genuine. Clearfield streets shone kinder under post-rain rainbows, vivid, symbolic of fresh starts earned. Their steps aligned outside, unbreakable friendship glowing bright. Bonds forged in fire now shone eternal. Parking farewell hinted promotions dual for them both via manager's email tease valuing hidden talents long. Anna drove home unburdened, son greeting with hugs she truly deserved now. Ethan's walk home filled with inner peace rare, human ties perfecting his life's patterns finally. Futures aligned harmonious ahead. Tuesday locked in progress. Training sessions mixed former rivals thriving, guided by their expertise, calm. Anna coached Lisa on life's balance is real. Ethan tutored Mark through logic depths, patiently kind. Manager's notes gathered dust unused, authentic smiles fixed everywhere. Empathy fully reshaped the workplace core. Ripples touched lives deeper. Anna's sitter offered steady role inspired by her shared advocacy strength. Ethan's emails swelled with neurodiversity networks seeking his unique gifts valued. Lunch circles grew into open mentorships, celebrating every vulnerability turned power. Transformations rippled outward endlessly. Corporate gala weekend approached inclusive. Invitations welcoming all to honor, experiments evolution, grand. Anna chose her dress thoughtfully, sun approving mirror gleams proudly beside. Ethan's tie knotted with precision exact, social outing approached with calm anticipation, new. Celebrations loomed, joyful, unified. Gala night eve brought journaling gratitude for Anna deep, Ethan's mind mapping futures harmonious clear. Brief call linked them. We reshaped it all. Her voice met his pause, affirming profoundly true. Quiet courage echoed loudest in the changes wrought enduring. Legacies built silently strong. Clearfield's night sky sparkled starlit mirroring ignited inner lights within all touched by their stand. Distant office windows beamed welcoming transformed forever in their wake. Intertwined legends whispered now through every respectful hall passed. Stories lived on, inspiring. Final truth gleamed subtle. True test weighed souls raising others through tempests faced together brave. Anna slept peaceful, sun nestled close safe. Ethan's dreams wove patterns serene at last fulfilled. Quiet courage moved everyone forever. Months stretched into a transformed rhythm at Clearfield's office in Pennsylvania, where Anna's promotion to lead coordinator rang out with standing applause that echoed her improbable journey from the overlooked single mother rushing in late to the authoritative voice now shaping company policy from a desk overlooking the very team she once observed warily from the fringes. Ethan's elevation to senior analyst arrived more quietly through head office emails, praising his unparalleled pattern recognition genius that had quietly salvaged critical projects. His once solitary desk wall now framed not just with the single faded photo of his distant parents but layered team snapshots capturing barbecues and workshop moments that marked his belonging. Daily huddles opened with structured gratitude shares led voluntarily by Mark, who had evolved into vulnerability advocate, while Lisa designed inclusive training modules drawn directly from the anonymized security footage lessons that had exposed the week's hidden cruelties, turning collective shame into proactive empathy tools shared across departments. Anna's personal life bloomed in tandem with these professional victories. Her trusted sitter transitioning seamlessly into a full-time family nanny position, enabled by the flexible hours policy she had championed through her lived trials, allowing her young son to thrive in advanced therapy programs, funded by the stability her perseverance had finally secured after years of scraping by on minimum wage and mounting medical debt. Ethan's own home transformed with practical sensory upgrades like dimmable lights and noise-canceling zones funded by his raise, leading to weekend barbecues where Anna's curious boy joined him in building elaborate forts that mirrored the structured code worlds Ethan navigated so masterfully at work, forging an uncle-nephew bond neither had anticipated. Mark took up mentoring junior hires on recognizing personal bias blind spots with raw honesty drawn from his own failures, and Lisa redirected her social media feeds from snarky office memes to authentic advocacy posts, amplifying neurodiversity success stories, her follower count surging as authenticity resonated. The corporate gala night crystallized their legend into living memory. Anna, radiant in a tailored red dress that symbolized her fiery resilience, standing beside Ethan in his sharp blue tie chosen with precise care for the rare social spotlight. Their joint speeches lauding the duo as the true architects of humanity's metrics redefined, drawing thunderous ovations from executives who lined up personally for handshakes and speaking circuit offers spanning the nation. Mark raised a tearful toast midway through, his voice cracking as he declared, "You fixed more than printers and spreadsheets. You fixed all of us deep down where it hurt most," prompting sniffles across tables heavy with crystal glasses. The dance floor swirled into pure inclusivity afterward, Anna's son giggling uncontrollably sandwiched between them in a clumsy three-way sway, his small hands clutching theirs as patterns of laughter and music wove an unbreakable chosen family amid the glittering chandeliers. Real challenges persisted testing the new harmony, Anna navigating expanded custody arrangements with her ex confidently bolstered by documented professional success that silenced old doubts, while Ethan's occasional overload days triggered seamless team flex support with quiet rooms and reduced meetings offered without question. New hires occasionally tested dormant reflexes with offhand comments, but interventions landed swift and gentle, the simple mantra, "Remember Ethan and Anna's week that changed everything here?" halting cruelty in its tracks before it could root, turning potential conflicts into teachable moments. Productivity metrics soared into double digits month over month. Employee retention hit perfect scores unheard of in the industry, and Clearfield's story became a cited case study at HR conferences nationwide for empathy-driven leadership that delivered bottom-line results. Evening reflections deepened their bond further, Anna filling journals with scans of her son's crayon drawings depicting office heroes battling cartoon villains with data swords and kind words, while Ethan's personal algorithms now modeled mathematical projections of kindness propagation through workplaces showing exponential growth curves from single acts. Shared post-shift coffees evolved into profound life philosophy exchanges, her stories of resilience forged in sleepless nights of single motherhood, contrasting beautifully with his precision insights drawn from innate pattern recognition that saw connections others missed entirely. Mark's desk multiplied with family photos of his own kids thriving in the kinder environment he'd helped build, and Lisa launched a podcast series featuring raw interviews with their tale going viral overnight, racking up millions of downloads. The one-year anniversary arrived marked by a plaque unveiling ceremony in the lobby, Quiet Courage Corner, dedicated with Ethan's original rescued printer as whimsical centerpiece beside Anna's bound policy binder that had reshaped company culture. The reunion gala packed wall-to-wall with the original crew exchanging tearful hugs amid confetti showers. The retired manager returned for the event, crediting their spark publicly as the catalyst for his graceful exit into consulting on ethical leadership. Anna's keynote speech distilled it simply yet powerfully. "We proved the real tests measure heart's enduring hurdles, not just numbers crunched," met with her son's proud standing ovation from the front row, while Ethan's brief addendum landed profoundly. Patterns always reveal the truths hidden beneath the noise everyone ignores. Ripples cascaded far beyond Clearfield's walls into national impact. Anna keynoting major conferences on work-life integration with standing ovations, Ethan consulting for global neurodiversity firms leveraging his unique analytical gifts. Their joint story optioned into a book deal that Hollywood producers snapped up for inspirational film adaptation. Anna's son's elementary school adopted a full anti-bias curriculum directly inspired by her advocacy letters, complete with Quiet Courage Days assemblies, while Mark's own children started calling Ethan Uncle Patterns during family visits that became tradition. Lisa's social feeds exploded to million-follower status, amplifying marginalized voices daily with authenticity that built a movement. Legacy etched itself permanently into the corporate landscape. Annual Ethan and Anna Courage Awards, drawing top talent applicants magnetized to the Clearfield model of empathetic excellence that balanced humanity with profitability. Anna remarried quietly to a supportive partner who embraced their blended family inclusive of office, aunties and uncles, her wedding featuring team toasts that brought the house down. Ethan's debut book, Code of Kindness, Patterns That Change Workplaces, climbed bestseller lists worldwide. Its foreword, penned by Anna, in poetic prose, capturing their unspoken synergy. On a final gala eve under Clearfield's star-wheeled night sky, Anna raised a private toast to Ethan from the balcony overlooking twinkling city lights. "You saw me truly when I felt most invisible to everyone else." His weighted pause before responding carried volumes. The patterns always showed our shared strength waiting to emerge. Down below in the car, her son slept dreaming of real-life heroes, while Mark's warm laughter drifted distantly from inside the venue filled with loved ones. The office lights twinkled like welcoming beacons far across the valley, evolved from a cold test chamber into a lighthouse guiding countless others safely through their own prejudice storms, successfully navigated together. Whispers of doubt had evolved into enduring roars of respect echoing through hallways once toxic, quiet courage creating a vast echo chamber of positive change. Years later, as retirees gathered for casual reminiscences over coffee, they all agreed. That single week changed our trajectories and hearts forever in ways we never imagined possible. Anna's grown son shared the tales as bedtime stories to his own grandkids, wide-eyed with wonder, while Ethan's algorithms powered university courses worldwide teaching ethical AI through human-centered lenses. Mark preached redemption sermons drawn from his raw transformation journey at community centers. And Lisa's TED Talk on the topic went mega-viral, inspiring workplaces globally. The ultimate poetic truth lingered beautifully in every retelling. The strongest voices often whisper the softest truths that ring loudest over time. True tests forging unbreakable diamonds from unrelenting pressure endured side by side. Anna watched Pennsylvania sunsets with her son now grown strong and independent beside her, while Ethan's life patterns shone eternal as guiding stars illuminating paths for the unseen. Clearfield thrived demonstrably kinder under their influence, where strangers evolved into unbreakable allies, proving single moms and autistic men could spark revolutions, their quiet light illuminating countless paths ahead with courage that moved everyone eternally. Drop in the comments below. What hidden strengths have you discovered in yourself or others during your toughest times? Your story might inspire someone's breakthrough tomorrow. If you've ever felt invisible at work, like Anna racing against time for her sick son, or Ethan enduring silent judgments for being different, hit that like button if this story of quiet courage hit home. Subscribe for more real stories of resilience that prove one act of kindness changes everything, and drop a comment below. Have you faced office cruelty or found an unexpected ally who changed your world? Your story could inspire someone fighting the same battle right now.